Hello, all my beautiful people. It is time once again for another amazing episode of If You Give a Dad a Podcast. And to be more specific, it is time for part 2 of this 2-part episode with Ivan Warsaw and Michael St. James. I'm not going to do a long intro like I normally do on this one. I think we're just going to get right into it. I'm very excited for you to hear this episode. And for those of you who are here just to hear part 2 of this 2-part episode, welcome. I hope that you enjoy what you hear, and I hope that you stick around and listen to some of the other great episodes that we have here. So, if you're as excited as I am, then let's get this show on the road.
If You Give a Dad a Podcast. Hey, Dad.
So where did you actually train at?
I made a really good career out of being able to bump, sell, and I had a punch me face.
I wasn't about to call you Dad, so.
Seriously?
I felt like it was in an anime or something.
People get really mad at those videos for some reason. Like, it triggers certain people, yeah.
Wow.
I was actually lost as an infant, and I was taken in by a traveling group of independent wrestlers.
I love it. I'm excited for this one.
Bro.
Get punched in the face on the daily. Do you always do these interviews with your shirt off?
What?
Man, this guy won't shut up.
Okay, before I get started, you ever had a design in mind and you wanted to put it on a shirt or a hat or a cup, but you just didn't know who to go to? Well, come on over to R&L Designs, where they make all of your custom needs come true. They make custom hats, they make custom shirts, they make custom mugs, they even do the tumblers and the glass mugs as well. They do key fobs even. They have great prices, and they have a reasonable turnaround time. If you need anything custom, these are the people that you need to hit up today. You can find them on Facebook, and that is at R&L Designs. You can also find them on Instagram at R&L Designs 19. They have a Facebook page. They have an Instagram page. They update it regularly with new products. You can also message them if you have something in mind. Hit them up today for all of your custom needs. Give them a like, give them a follow. So what are some of the goals that you guys have for Ozark Mountain?
Oh, baby. I mean, I don't know where to go. Look, I don't know. I'd like to grow this wrestling company to have a show and sell out the Bud Walton Arena, you know?
That'd be cool.
That'd be great, you know? I'd like to, I don't know, do something where we have some killer so I don't know, TV production show at the Metroplex over here on 71. You know, that's a killer building in there.
That is a big building too.
Yeah, and it's set up for it. I mean, it already looks,
nice spot.
You know, like there should be some wrestling in there. It's, you know, just to get the money behind it, because it's not a cheap building either. But
no, it's not. We actually, I know somebody who looked into that. It was not cheap.
Yeah,
though.
but here's one thing. So, like in the endeavor like this, is you know, like I said, you know, I might have wrestled a bunch and I might have remembered the finish on a match or whatever, but that's a big difference between doing that and then, you know, helping direct a show or how a wrestling company's gonna go and, you know, helping that go along. And so it's important not to bite off too much before, you know, don't bite more than you can chew, because you're going to choke on what you got in your mouth, you know what I mean? And you know, as we're learning our systems and stuff, you know, who knows how much time it might take or whatever, but I mean, I think it'd drive me crazy not to do wrestling. I spent money on a ring anyway, so what am I going to do with it? Yeah, I better use it, but damn, I can't remember what I was getting at.
Well, I think, we ran 5 shows this year. And,
5 or 6 maybe. Well, I don't know. Yeah, 5. Okay, 5. Yeah, 5.
Right, 5. And unless you ran one that I wasn't aware. No, I'm just kidding.
But backyard show.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Oh yeah, because our next one will be in
January.
January. Yeah. Okay, I was counting that.
Yeah, but 5 shows. Obviously, would like to do more.
Right.
Would love to continue to put on shows. I mean, we've talked about maybe that would be in some different areas outside of Northwest Arkansas, down the road. You learn a lot. Obviously, with every show, you learn things, and so we've learned a lot. I mean, I think we want to improve our production where we can. But just continuing to try and provide fans with the best experience. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's what to continue to do it. That's what we have to do is have, we've got some great fans, and to have them keep coming back and supporting Ozark Mountain Wrestling. That's a big part of it. We to continue to run shows, and I think the other part is, is to get a training, to get a building where we can. Ideally, we'd love to be in a building where we could run shows and train.
Right.
Maybe. But again, the Northwest Arkansas real estate market is
insane.
It is.
It's nice.
If you want to sell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that is a little bit of a challenge. But we're constantly on the lookout for that because I know that Ivan had said that as far as developing young people. I mean, he really has a heart for training people, and he's good at it. Just in the limited amount of time, I've seen the difference he's made in people in a really short amount of time.
For real.
And everything. So he knows what he's doing. So from a training standpoint, I'll put a plug out there. When the time comes, you're not going to get a better trainer than this. So that would be, I think, the two biggies. Would be to get the training going and then just continue with shows and maybe look at some different areas and run some more shows. I think that's the goal.
Man, another big goal is to reach beyond just the boundaries of pro wrestling. A lot of kids, look at they really connect with what we do.
Yes.
To have a 7-year-old hyperactive kid shut up and listen to what you're telling them, that's a big thing, because they don't do that for their parents or for even their coach or their whatever, or the teacher or whatever, but they will for a wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a connection, and that's powerful.
Yeah.
There was a time I didn't really understand how that connection really was or how powerful it was, but, now I try to be aware of that, and, there's some things I would like to really, push for as keep going forward, but really have more of a working on our community outreach. Something, I was kind of in with the back crowd, and like I said, maybe if wrestling was around me at that age, it would have straightened me up. But we got the Crossroads schools and stuff for the kids. It's like your last chance and stuff, and I'd like to. I don't know. I'm working on some kind of program to do with them because that could be something there. Because it's not kids are bad, but
they're easily influenced.
And they start making bad decisions and stuff. Right. That but if there's someone that they kind of might listen to or been through some stuff, or they can, or some kids just need someone to pay attention to them.
Right.
Yep.
If you don't get any good attention, all the attention is bad attention. Well, you might crave just bad attention because that's the only attention you're getting.
Yeah. And
and then for someone to come along and they'll listen to someone with some good advice because maybe they've been through that road. That's a big thing for me. So if I can give that back, that's really what I'm after. That. Really a community influence beyond just the wrestling.
Well, and that's good because this area is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, we have separate towns around here and all that, but it's just one big metroplex is what it is.
Yeah.
All the way from Bella Vista down to Fayetteville, it's just one big, massive conglomerate of towns.
And bigger by the day.
Yeah. And, so there is tons of kids who would need things like that do need things like that don't get the influences that they need maybe at home. So that would be wonderful. I would love to see something like that come to this area.
Yeah.
I'm a pastor's son.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my dad pastors a church in Missouri. It's a little Pentecostal church up there. So, we've very much been I've been around a lot of those kids that need that influence, and you can see it. They're hungry for it.
Oh, yeah.
They want that. And I would love to see that.
And unfortunately, there are a lot of kids out there that that are in that position. I think we get being in Northwest Arkansas, a little bit you get a bubble,
right?
Because it is growing, it's prosperous, it's all those things, and you can kind of forget that. Yeah, even here there are opportunities. Certainly for there are kids that need the type of things that I was talking about, that direction, or that don't have an idyllic home life,
right?
And I mean, unfortunately it's everywhere, and it's certainly here. And that's something that we certainly want to, moving forward, is to work on something that we can do to help that.
Yeah. So you did say something a minute ago. You said one of your influences was Slayer. So I'm guessing you were a metalhead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, what are some of your favorite bands? And
probably my all-time favorite would be Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath.
Yeah, and then after Black Sabbath, Slayer, Pantera, anything Zakk Wylde does.
Okay, yeah. Black Label Society.
Yeah, Black Label, White Zombie.
Yeah.
Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet. Now this is true though. This is not a joke, man. I love some Miley Cyrus.
Do you?
And I love Party in the USA.
Oh, absolutely.
No, I love it. I'm not even lying, man.
I can't let my wife hear you say that.
Yeah.
Because they troll me with that song.
Oh, yeah? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Carly Rae Jepsen's Call Me Maybe. They'll play that randomly.
Well, I'm not going to go that far, but yeah. But yeah.
It's the climb.
But let's go back to the metal guys.
The climb? Okay, yeah.
That's for Miley Jam.
So
Sepultura, let's throw them in there.
Yeah.
What, you like metal? You go?
Oh, I love metal.
Oh, who you got? Who's on your team?
Oh man, mine started probably with your new metal stuff. So
you like Fear Factory? You go Fear Factory?
I like Fear Factory. Monomarth, I like them a lot.
Okay, row your boat. Row the boat.
Yeah, and then I like a lot of stuff. Like I'm a big Korn fan.
Okay.
I actually saw them at the Amp.
Okay.
And then I like Five Finger Death Punch. There's a lot of people who don't like it, and that's fine.
That's cool.
There's a lot of people that don't like them, and I'm cool with that. So I'm one of those people who have always liked music that nobody else likes. I always messed with Nickelback, even.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, "Oh, Nickelback sucks," and I'm like, you know what? Now all these people that were saying that they suck,
I saw
to bop with them.
I saw something about Nickelback. It was talking about putting out a cover album that they were going to cover a Slayer, a Sepultura, and it was some other badass band.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a joke. They were talking about it. I mean, that band likes I don't know, they're buddies with cool folks and stuff. So.
This kind of give you a little overview of some of my music. I got Chris Stapleton here. I like records and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've got the Black Album from Metallica here. I got some Seether.
Okay, yeah, look at them on the radio.
Yeah, I got Pantera.
Okay, keep it like that. There we go.
Evanescence,
Okay, you can
and
keep that.
then I've got some Biggie,
Okay.
Some Biggie Smalls, so I kind of.
All right, so we go there. I'm going to go with 3-6 Mafia.
Yes.
Being with Memphis, that's my go-to.
All right, yeah.
Who running? Yeah, that's it, man.
3-6 Mafia, help Project Pack.
Yeah.
So all
got
that.
the scissor.
Exactly. So, Mike, what are some of your music influences, music tastes?
He just got metal in his blood.
Well, I again a tad bit older than you guys, so I went through the whole hair metal phase.
Yeah. Okay.
Loved that in high school. I loved Cinderella.
Yeah.
Was probably
I still like Cinderella.
Band. Yeah, it was my band at the time. Yeah, Cinderella, like Twisted Sister, all of that. And then probably once started in college, that was about the time that grunge hit, and I was a huge Pearl Jam fan. I loved.
Oh yeah, were you?
Yeah, loved Pearl Jam, and I don't know that I listen to any certain genre anymore. It's all over the place, but that was grunge was pretty big into the grunge scene.
Wow, you were a grungy guy, huh?
I was.
That's awesome.
I was. Yes.
One other thing. I've actually had a couple of metal bands on this, or I've had one metal band. I'm about to have another one next week. They're a metalcore band. I think they're both out of Florida. One of them is called With Some Friends, and the next one I'm having on is called Reverse, but they spell it RVRS. So I'm very excited to have them.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
be really cool. In fact, I put the episode out, and then like that next week, the other bands started following me on Instagram, and I was like, So I started listening to music, and they're really good. So I'm pretty excited to have that on.
Nice.
So,
cool.
Yeah. I love
a good metal show, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Shoot, that's
it's fun.
It's fun, and sometimes you need something like that.
For sure.
Yeah, I've been to some metal shows where it's been very therapeutic. You know, I had to get it out.
Well, my wife asks me because she doesn't like metal. You know, she's like, "Why do you listen to it?" And my response every time is, "They scream when I can't."
Or they scream with me when I can't stop. God, not enough.
Exactly.
You know, and I got someone else on the line with me. Yeah, me too. You know, I feel that.
Yeah. No, I definitely.
That's a good line, though. I like that.
Yeah. Especially when I'm at work, you know, and everybody around me is just annoying the mess out of me, and I don't want to talk to any of them. You know, I can throw on my headphones, listen to some metal, and they'll scream for me because.
See, like I said, I sometimes make bad reactions. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's all good.
My seams fall apart and it all spills out.
Let's see. Who are y'all's favorite wrestler?
Mike, who's your favorite wrestler?
Like all time, and then
Jerry
tell me-
Lawler.
Jerry Lawler.
Lawler's all time.
Okay.
Yep, Jerry Lawler's all. And I will tell you a quick story. I was passing through Memphis. This was just 3 or 4 years ago, maybe less than that. And I had stopped at Jerry Lawler's barbecue in I believe it was in Germantown, out that direction. And it was my wife and my daughter, and jokingly said, I fully expected there to be, all these old Memphis wrestlers just hanging out. This was just going to be their hangout.
Yeah.
And totally kidding. And I'm sitting there, I'm facing the window, facing out front, and I see a Escalade pull up with a WWE license plate on it. And I could see through the window, and Jerry Lawler pulls in with his girlfriend and comes into the restaurant. They had just been, they had just gotten in from somewhere and said, "Hey, let's run by and get something to eat." There was one other person in the restaurant with me, and I actually got to sit there and probably talk to him for about 20 minutes.
That's so cool.
And it was the most random, but it was incredible. But got to, took pictures and everything, and it was just on cloud nine. It was so cool. A meet and greet's one thing.
Right.
But just a random, he just happened to show up when I happened to be there passing through town. And so, that was really awesome.
Cool.
But, of course, growing up, he was my hero, and probably the one, wrestler I would have loved to have met and got to. So, and then probably my favorite current wrestler is, I would say, Rodney Mack.
Yeah.
I just threw that out there. Ivan and Rodney have a complicated history.
Oh, it ain't complicated, though.
It's complicated in that you guys beat the crap out of each other.
I mean, it's very easy to read.
Well, I guess complicated. It's pretty straightforward, I guess. But, no, in all seriousness, gosh, I don't know. I watch a lot. I don't know. I'll come back to that.
I'm trying to think of who my all-time favorite would be. I'd always my all-time favorite always been Razor Ramon, Scott Hall and stuff. But once I got into business and kind of learned some things, he's still one of my all-time favorites. But and what you can take from someone like Scott Hall is what not to do. There's times to know what not to do. And there's some things I've heard from let's just say Booker T. When he talks about back towards the end of WCW, and some of the guys had their money and they were just walking through it to get to the bar, and I'm busting my ass to be and that's what he did, and be the best. And he got picked up across the street, and I mean his work is at a high caliber. Not that Razor's wasn't, but Scott's wasn't so much. And then it just but as far as work ethic and stuff, because there's different. When you look at wrestler as a kid, and then you start getting older, So as a kid, it was probably Razor, but then I don't know, Austin, Benoit, Bret Hart, probably my favorites.
I got you.
Yeah, love Kurt.
Yeah.
And I like the big guys too.
Hennig or Angle? Both.
They're both good answers.
Yeah. I'll go with Kurt.
Angle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Kurt. Yeah, I'll go with Kurt. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually have a...
No, I'm coming back.
Okay.
I just thought of it. Probably the person I enjoy is, I was talking about...
Is this about present day?
Yeah, my present day, probably the one I really enjoy watching, I think, as far as, carries himself like a world champion, credible matches, is Josh Alexander.
Okay,
And,
yeah, he loves Josh.
He is...
he's doing a good job.
He is.
Impact. He's doing amazing.
He is, I think he is great.
Yeah.
Just the whole package.
Right.
I think he's phenomenal. So, yeah, as far as the current person goes, I like Josh Alexander a lot.
As far as current wrestler would be Harwood.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great choice.
I think he's. I've always thought that though.
Yeah.
Since we were in tryouts together in 2012, and just seeing him there, I was like, oh man, this guy's sharp, crisp, smart, patient, intense, believable.
Yeah.
Fun, everything. Like, oh yeah.
I almost wore my CR shirt tonight too.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, what a shame with those guys, right?
I know.
Just whatever it is. I just, you see the pay-per-view posters come out and stuff, and whenever I see FTR's not on one, I just don't get it. That just doesn't make sense. I can make sense of it,
Right.
But just what it is, that doesn't make sense to me.
They are probably one of the best tag teams going, in my opinion.
Oh, the best work,
yeah.
The best just work, period, knowing how to work, and oh yeah, I mean, just thinking about some of their matches and the stuff they did, it's just very, very nice.
There was somebody recently, I think I actually read this today, that they actually said that Harwood is the modern day Arn Anderson.
Here's my thinking though. And I'm not saying it's wrong, and I see that, but when I watch Harwood, okay, so Cash to me kind of reminds me, if you take to me, I look at him, if you take Eddie Gilbert and Benoit and kind of smush them together, that's kind of a Cash to me. when I look at Harwood, I see a lot of Austin in Harwood. Look at and don't think of Stone Cold, but think of you took Stunning Steve.
Okay.
And maybe just stripped them both down where that he doesn't have his color or his hair and whatever. But look at their mannerisms when just the way he just kind of moves around the ring, not doing anything, and how he has this he's kind of got a bobble to his head, and he kind of has and then when he starts going and stuff, he's kind of got this breathing thing that's kind of. A lot of things that Harwood does remind me of Austin. I'm talking like, man, you're Austin. Yeah, everybody thinks you're Arn, but you're not. You are Austin. The way he and the way he even starts his stance and kind of looks down from the brow, and it's very Austin-like,
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I think that's a good analogy. Yep.
Yeah. So going back to something you said a minute ago, you were talking about Jerry Lawler.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had a friend. So in West Memphis, there's a house. And it has this huge statue out front. And it's a man on a horse. And I don't know what it's made out of. It's just a huge statue. Well, it was one of Jerry Lawler's old houses.
Okay.
One of my friends, his grandma bought that house. So I actually got to go and
explore
really?
That
house.
That's awesome.
And it was I love telling that story because it's my connection to Jerry Lawler.
Oh, yeah.
And I also remember when Jerry Lawler ran for mayor of Memphis.
Yep. I had the T-shirt.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll tell this as a quick story. We were watching some home movies over the Thanksgiving break, and I was wearing. We pulled a recording out, and it was from Mother's Day. My wife will get mad for me telling this, but I had that shirt on, and she says on there, "You're going to wear that on Mother's Day,"
Yeah.
So she probably was not the biggest fan of it because I wore it a lot. But yes, I did have a Jerry for Mayor shirt. So
that's cool. Well, he didn't win that year,
right?
I think it was Willie Harrington that won for Memphis
for several years.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
They called him King Willie for a while, because he was just nobody could beat him. So and I don't know
because you've wrestled.
I ran for mayor too.
Right. Well, yeah. And you got my vote. But you've wrestled Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, in Memphis.
I met him at the restaurant.
Yeah.
You toured his house.
Oh, wow.
Really,
Look
this
at
is going
us.
to
This is
become
like a trifecta. Yeah, Jerry's our three favorite when we're together should be Jerry Lawler.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
That is actually, I have a list. I put it out on Twitter. people I want to interview on this show, and he was one of the people I put on.
Oh, great! Yeah, hey, you should work on making that happen too.
I'm going to try.
You should send him this snippet
Yeah.
of us talking about him, and then maybe he will.
Yeah, that would be great.
You mentioned, I don't want to get too far, you mentioned another one, though, that I don't think gets enough. But Eddie Gilbert was incredible.
Oh, yeah. Gilbert, man.
Oh, my gosh. He was so fun to watch and just so he was just such an amazing wrestler, mind for the business, so entertaining. But his stuff that, the stuff he did against Lawler in Memphis, but then even his run with Hyatt and Hot Stuff in Mid-State or Mid-South was great. It was so fun to watch. And again, that's ahead, before you guys' time.
Yeah, but I watch videotapes. I watch videotapes.
Yeah. But just his work there, I think, was awesome as well.
Yeah.
And Memphis was one of the only other places that I actually knew that whenever I lived there, that they had, wrestling that was independent shows there. Because I actually had a family that went to our church, and the girl and her brother, when they would go to their dad's house, they always went to the wrestling
shows
and stuff. And I was always jealous that they got to go to them, so I forgot to. So.
Oh, you didn't get to go?
No, I didn't.
When I was a kid, they were still doing, it was USWA, doing Monday nights in the Coliseum still.
Okay.
And my friend down the road in my neighborhood, his dad was buddies with Lawler in college and stuff, and he loved going to the matches still. And so we would go with him all the time, like every Monday night in 6th grade. And we were 6th graders going to the shows all the time, man, in the Coliseum. Great. And, it really is something special because there's, I don't know, and I can't say there's nothing like it now, but maybe there's not, I don't know. But that was, to me, it was a rarity. I mean, back in those guys' days, it was a normal occasion, but, it's hard to just, you can't just duplicate something like that.
Right. Well, it's special. It's always a memory that you're going to have.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
Well, that's kind of like with me. I have a separate memory from when I went to my first independent show with my son. And then I have a separate memory where I took my daughter to an independent show as well. And they each have those separate, and it was just a one-on-one time that we were able to have. I'll never forget that,
Yeah.
And I love that I was able to do that with each of them. So, those memories will always stick with you.
Sure, yeah.
Do you prefer to work heel or do you prefer to work face?
I don't know. I don't. It depends. I guess I'd answer that depends on who my opponent is. What's their strength?
Okay.
Whatever you're stronger at, I'll do the opposite.
Okay.
I'm fine with that or something, But I don't know, man. I can have fun being a babyface or a heel. Most people think I'm better at a heel. But I think it just depends on the setting or the opponent. Like if there's a good heel can make a decent babyface out of a non-babyface kind of. If you're a good heel. But I don't know. I don't really have a preference.
Okay.
I feel like I can kind of bounce, back and forth, but I don't really stretch my margin one way or the other too much, though. I'm just kind of, and honestly, though, man, something depends on if sometimes it's one of those things that some people try and force too much.
Right.
Let's go back to another Billy Gunn thing. The audience. Are you a heel or babyface? Man, I don't know. It's up to the audience sometimes.
Right.
And sometimes you might be trying to be a heel, but they're taking you as a babyface.
Yeah.
Don't swim across against the current of the river. Just go with it. So that sometimes that depends on the audience that night.
Right.
You can't always play the cards that way, but that's one of those things, though. A challenge for some of the kids.
Yep.
You never done that? Try it.
Yep.
There
you go. Yeah.
Swim in the river and don't have any preconceived plans of it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good to get out of your comfort zone.
It is. It's necessary.
Yeah. No, that's I like that. So, who are some of the bigger names that you've?
Well, I've been around Bobby Eaton a lot.
Okay.
When he was around. When I started training, he was at my wedding.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I got to know Bobby good. I was in a tag team with Matt Bourne for I think almost 2 years. before I got signed. Sid Vicious lived across the river in Marion, right?
Marion, yeah.
Well,
River Trace right there in Marion. Yeah.
I got to know him well. He would come over to Midtown and work out at the gym I worked out at, and we got to know each other pretty well. Yeah. And it's kind of beyond just a wrestling setting, but had to match with Finley. A really fun match I remember early. This is early on. Bob tag matched me and my buddy against Bobby Eaton and Brickhouse Brown. Some people might not remember Brickhouse Brown or know him, but some people will. And Brickhouse, and he was good too, man. Downtown Bruno, know him well. Or Harvey Whippleman, however you know him. I look forward to seeing Bruno again. Oh, Teddy Long, and Kevin Sullivan. Yeah, on my New Testament side, what I refer to it as. Got pretty close with Teddy Long and Kevin Sullivan. Okay. Really, that's really badass for me, man. Yeah, sure. and they're good, people to be able to, get a hold of, talk to. I've done some things, and it didn't involve Teddy Long or anything, but I needed some more opinions because, sometimes we don't have the best reactions to things. So let's see what his reaction might be to this. And, and it's helpful to have. Yeah. Important to have. Might not always hear what you want to hear, but you need to hear what you need to hear. Right. Forget your feelings. Yeah. Yeah, so that's my list. I mean, of course at NXT, though, you're around all of them. It's not it was cool, though. You got the physical therapy area over there and stuff, and you'd have, guys bouncing in and out, working on their leg or shoulder or whatever. That was cool. Getting, physical therapy is important. Yes. Yeah, your stuff wears out.
Yeah. I would say I did have somebody send me a question one time, and I've only asked one other wrestler this. What's the best topical creams you could use for sore joints and stuff?
Topical cream? Listen, I don't know. I mean, I would imagine the best topical cream probably got a lot of stuff in it, like CBD and THC and whatever, crush up, whatever else you want to make it. I don't. I go with Tiger Balm. Okay. I'll bathe in Tiger Balm or whatever.
I hear a lot of people say that. Yeah.
Yeah, Tiger Balm's nice. Or a lot of Epsom salt baths. Yeah. Man, the Epsom salt's nice. What else would I do? Visit the chiropractor and all that stuff. Oh, or dry needling. Yeah, I don't know if you heard of dry needling.
Kind of like acupuncture?
It's kind of like acupuncture, but a little different stuff. And it's kind of seems like it's more of a focused target. But, yeah, taking little dart needles and just jabbing it in you and sticking it in there and, loosen you up and stuff. And, it'll help your elbow and your back and whatever else. So I don't know, topical cream.
Actually somebody that I work with is like, you know what? You're going to have wrestlers on your show. Ask them. I'm in a lot of pain.
Tiger Balm. Yeah. Tell them to Tiger Balm.
Tiger Balm. I had one guy, he told me, whatever's the cheapest.
Or now this always worked fabulous. You got to take it, man. Is that ice bath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Man, you take that ice bath in, it's something else. Or, up the road, we got the cryotherapy, that cryo chamber thing. Okay. Yeah, and that thing's pretty rad, too, Yeah. I think the ice bath works better, but, it's the difference between 3 minutes in here and then 20 minutes in the other. Right. Or if I don't know, I would stay 20 minutes in it, but, the ice bath, I mean, it kind of sucks, but when you get out of it, everything feels nice. Yeah. Yeah.
I can get one of those tubs and
right here. Well, yeah. I mean, actually, and I haven't done it yet, but they do that polar plunge at the Beaver Lake, right?
Yes, they do. Yeah,
and every year. Like, maybe I should do something like that. Hop in the lake, get my body right. But yeah, it kind of sucks. It takes your breath away.
Does it?
Yeah. Like when I got in the first time, it was like, and you can't really, it's however cold it is, but you can't like just relax. But it's like, I don't know, your lungs contract or something. You gotta kind of breathe again and it's pretty rad.
Well, I remember, so John Cena had this little show that he did. And it was kind of like all these different challenges and stuff. And I remember one of the girls where they had to jump in the water. It was polar plunge that they were doing. They'd jump out and then they have to get out and then jump back in and stuff. Well, after like the second time, I think she passed out and stuff. So yeah, I mean it's very much a shock to your body.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and conditioning your body. And if I got in and got out, I don't know if I'd want to get back in though.
Right.
That's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I get out, I ain't getting back in.
I'm stuck on thinking about the Tiger Bomb episode of Seinfeld now, when Kramer used that to fix it. You guys, you're too young. You're looking at
No, dude. I watch Seinfeld every night.
Yeah, do you remember
for sure.
What do you do with the Tiger Bomb?
It's the episode where Kramer got burned with the coffee.
And
remember he used Tiger Bomb.
Yes, that is right. Yeah.
Then,
Who told you to put that?
That's right. Who told you was talking about? Yeah, Jackie Childs.
I tell you to put that up.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you this. When it comes to your promo style, is there anybody that you draw inspiration from for your promo styles?
Oh, yeah. Let's go back to earlier, Slayer and Dahmer or anything like that. A theme or whatever. To me, a lot of promos. I look at doing a promo like writing a song.
Okay.
Or pretty much. Look at it like kind of like sheet music. And there's a rhythm and there's a flow and there's a tone. Tone is a missing key to a lot of promos these days. There's no the tone is not right, whether with the person or the setting. There's really not a lot, on this level. There's not a lot of good effort put into the promos, and there's not a lot of good practice put into the promos.
Use a mirror.
Well, yeah, use a mirror, or like my wife says, promos kind of get easy for you. It's easy when you're, kind of bipolar schizo and you hear voices in your head, But talk to yourself a lot, and or like there's different exercises, pick a word and say the word 5 different ways.
Okay.
Just work on your inflection, your emotion. Work on your pauses. A lot of things I look at, whether you're promo or a match or whatever, is the things you don't do. You focus a lot on what you're going to do, what I need to do, but you need to set that parameter on what I'm not going to do.
Right.
That, to me, that's more important. What you don't do.
Right.
That's where I start because I need to know what I don't want to be, what I don't want to do.
Right.
And for me, what I don't want to do is what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
So I try to do my promos better.
So, do you have a favorite person?
Is that what you were getting at?
Yeah,
okay. I don't know. Jake. I look at Jake Roberts, Jake the Snake, a lot. I look a lot at, man, I think Sid Vicious had some killer promos, sometimes they didn't make sense, sometimes they did, but whether they made sense or not, he could bring it up and bring it down.
Right.
He could go silent and give a stare.
Yeah.
And you could feel it all, and
he played that Psycho name very well.
Yeah. Jake was, he's good at just he's one of those guys that can read the phone book and be creepy,
Yep.
Or then even look at what makes Arn Anderson promos good is that I can believe him.
Yeah,
I can believe that man is saying that, and I can believe he means it.
Yeah.
And his thinking of what you're going to say and then saying it naturally.
Yes.
That there's a difference. Who else would I look at? I mean, of course, Austin. Really, Austin's kind of always been like one of those go-to guys of what I don't want to try to do because I got a bald head. And if I had a goatee, that's why I don't really have a goatee, But and then if I start talking like Austin, then he looks like he's not trying to be Austin, And it's like, well, I mean, you see me with my hair growing out, now you shave it too, It's just not trying to be Austin, but not as bad as sound like Austin, but you don't want to keep reminding somebody of somebody else other than yourself.
Yes. Set yourself apart. Yeah.
Man, I mean, there's a lot of good people to look at, though. Because sometimes I look at, there's always those people that, there's always the guys that are, the easy to grab, Flair's good, Dusty's good, these guys. Yeah. But then finding the guys that are good, it doesn't really stand out quite right at you why they're good. And then I like to dig in and find out, what makes that good? Because it's not really standing out to me. Why, like when I was a kid, I mean, Arn Anderson's promos didn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
But then after, maturing a bit and, you know, trying different things and then, like, you know, finding out what made that good.
You grow an appreciation for it.
Yeah, and you kind of dissect it a little better.
Right.
You know, because Arn can't, you know, Arn shouldn't cut a promo like Flair.
Right.
Because that's Flair's promo.
Exactly.
You know, he's, you know, and that's also not who Arn is.
Right.
know.
He's not going to brag and say that, you know, my shoes cost more than your house.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'd go with Jake.
Okay. Jake is probably one of my favorites when it comes
Oh,
to
yeah?
promo. Oh, yeah.
Hey, he gave me some great, you know, I mean, it's advice you probably heard before, but, you know, because he says it all the time, but I was doing my character and everything, and I was Killer Nichols, had a body bag, and I'd say this stuff, and then Jake was at the show, and I was, you know, I was like, oh, well, that's cool, you know, and then, yeah, you know, it's one of those occasions, you know, if you wasn't there, I probably wasn't going to try too hard to where it was fit just right, but then when you start trying too hard, the stuff don't fit right, and he was there watching, and he's like, hey, you know, you pretty much tell me, don't force it, you know,
Right.
Keep it in realistic, you know, I know you're not going to go out there and kill this guy, so don't say you're going to kill him.
Right.
But take it another direction with, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Well, you can say stuff and leave them questioning it without actually
saying.
saying.
Leave a lot in their mind
Yes.
is good. Oh, if you leave it in their mind, then it doesn't even matter if they get it or not.
Right.
As long as you put something in their mind, you know, they could all have a different idea of what you're trying to talk about.
Yeah.
Or they might not even get it at all, but they might feel it.
Yeah.
You know, there's some of those promos, I don't know what he was talking about, but man, I'm ready to get up and fight somebody with them, man, you know.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, Tommy Rich, Wildfire Tommy Rich, you know, and that kind of stuff. I mean, I've always liked that kind of stuff, you know. I'm pretty excitable. And then so you get like someone like him and you know, getting after you on the promo. I was a kid during that time, and tuned me up. I liked it. Yeah.
I was a Buzz Sawyer guy. So
I'm a Buzz guy too, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and Buzz and Matt Bourne and stuff, right?
Yep.
Who's some of your favorite promos?
Some of my favorites, so obviously Jake is one of my favorites. Man, I have so many, it's hard to nail them down because...
Let's talk about modern day. Who do you think somebody go with modern day?
A modern day? Yeah. I've always thought that, if anything, you know, people say that he's the 5-move guy, but John Cena could cut a good promo.
Yeah.
He knew how to talk on that mic, and...
John Cena's brilliant.
He's very quick, you know.
Yeah.
He can turn things on a dime. Obviously, I'm going to like The Rock. You know, I like the way he does it. But I love how when it comes to Jake, how he'd get in there and he would just get real quiet. He didn't have to raise his voice.
Yeah.
And there was an intensity in that quietness.
Yeah.
That you knew what he was serious about what he said.
Yep.
And he didn't have to yell at you. It was just, this is what I'm going to do. You know,
But if he did, you knew it was important. I mean, I think that's kind of what you're talking about from a tone and kind of that pacing.
Yeah.
Right.
Is, you know, if somebody goes out and yells all the time,
yeah,
they're at one level all the time.
Exactly.
But yeah, somebody that's calm, but then when they ratchet it up, you know, oh crap, they're pissed.
Yeah.
You know, type thing. I mean, they really, you know, I think that's important. Yeah. I was going to say, for me, I mean, you know, I think Paul Heyman is phenomenal.
Oh,
I think, you
100%.
know, from that standpoint, for, you know, a long time, I think he's a great...
Yeah, for a long time. Yeah, because, you know, a lot of people talk about Paul Heyman, they talk about him like in the present day and stuff, but yeah, Paul Heyman goes back to... you know, like we were talking about WCW Steiner Brothers, and you know,
ECW. Yeah, I mean,
you
know,
he goes back with the big ass cell phone in his hand and everything.
Right.
You know, and he was getting heat with his promos in.
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah.
So there's a guy that's in SICW. It's a Illinois company that I've been watching because they do a YouTube show and stuff like that, and I really like. He's very quick on the mic. It reminds me of a young Paul Heyman, and his name is Lucky Pete Larson, and I've actually been enjoying a lot of his promos that he's been cutting as well. I don't know if y'all if you know him or heard of him.
I don't know anybody. I'm not, but I'll look him up.
Yeah, he's SICW they're out of Illinois, and I've got a guy that I've had on the show that wrestles for them, and I'm going to have him come back on in February, and he just the insults that he brings up on the fly, it just cracks me up. I pop every time he says something, just because.
Oh yeah, no, that's good, and it's a craft to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And sometimes being able to do that is just go out there and making yourself being comfortable flying without a parachute.
Right.
You don't need to know I don't need to pre-think what I'm going to say sometimes. It's just because you don't know what, if he's talking to the audience, he doesn't know what the audience is going to say to him.
Right.
But he's got to fire back,
Right. Yeah. You definitely have to be ready to do something on the fly. Not everything's always going to work out the way you want it to.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. I've learned that from doing this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, just doing life, man. Yeah, things just don't work out like you thought.
Yeah, I think that's one thing too. Just in watching wrestling and then being involved more so here lately. But there is such an improv factor.
Yeah.
On what's done, and whether that's improv from like you said, responding to the crowd.
Yeah.
Seeing where the crowd is going, and maybe in your mind you started out thinking you're going to go one way potentially, but going another. But then you obviously in the ring there are times you have to improv as well. So I mean, I think to do what these guys do and to do it at a high level and to do it well, it's hard.
Yes.
I mean, it is incredibly difficult to do it. It's physical, it's mental, and I have the utmost respect because it's tough. It's tough to do.
Yeah, it's one of those things. There's money in the wrestling industry, but if you get into wrestling for the money, you're in the wrong spot. Because if you need money, wrestling ain't the place for it. Right. Before you get that money, you're going to be pretty well tested. I mean, if it ain't really in your heart for it, it's just not going to be the thing for you because it's not for everybody. It's kind of a unique craft in a way, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of mixes a lot of things. I've always looked at it as like a mix between like a heavy metal show and some other kind of athletic exhibition, I guess, but kind of like that, it's kind of like because you got a lot of rock and roll to it or whatever.
Absolutely.
You got a little theater and all this stuff, but then you still got like some hard hitting action there. So and then it's a traveling circus. Well, it depends on what level you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because not everything's on the super highway to success. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With $1 million in a jet plane.
Well, limousine ride.
Oh!
Wheeling dealing.
Oh.
Kiss stealing. Okay.
You definitely have to have a passion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to. Yeah. It helps. Yeah. Or some kind of athletic background, maybe in college or something.
Yeah. Is there anything else coming up that maybe you guys want to talk about?
Oh, what's coming up, man? Shoot, what we need to talk about?
Anything that you're excited about coming up?
Oh, Christmas is on the way.
It is.
Yeah, that's great. I don't know, man. I wasn't lying. I stayed busy. It's emotion.
Yeah.
But I got a business, with my wife.
Okay.
And so, I don't know. I keep my head down and do a lot of the work, and she just kind of tells me where to show up. I don't know what's coming up. I still think we're in November, man. So I don't know. I'm excited to do another match, man. I'm excited to do another show.
Yeah.
There's some things we're going after, and we're going after soon, but it's not to look into or nothing.
Yeah.
If things happen and stuff, you'll see it. I just, you see too much of it, I just hate this, big things coming, or what could be happening to me? And all right, okay, you got us. We don't care, but I just, I'm excited for it,
right?
But there's also, they say kayfabe is dead, and should be happy about that. Right. And also there is a thing where, kayfabe the things you do and just do it. Because when you don't and you put too much out there, you'll lose those opportunities.
Right.
Because you just can't keep a seal on the bag, you know what I mean?
I get that.
it's that balance, because this is a thing where it's like the ego driven and the attention, and look what we're, you want to drive attention because you want to sell a ticket or whatever it is, but it's also very ego driven. So I don't like coming off being self-centered. I want everybody to come to the show, but not, don't come to the show just to see me. I mean, I hope you enjoy what I got, but come to the show because you want to enjoy it and whatever. But
right.
There's a lot of self-centeredness in any kind of thing like this.
Right.
And I don't know. Yeah, I think to want more out of it, you got to, expect more out of yourself sometimes. Yeah. And, like I said, sometimes it can be the hard path to take, but if it's true to yourself, yeah, I mean, it's the path to go because the other path ain't for you. Yeah.
I get that. So, if you had anything that either one of y'all wanted to tell your fans, what would you want it to be?
Thank you.
Let's start off. First of all, thank you, fans.
Yeah, we really appreciate...
I keep the fan on medium.
Yeah. I think it's
that was stupid.
No, we have... we've had really great turnouts so far. Attendance has been great. Fans, and again, I think kind of to what we talked about a little bit earlier, not having too long of shows. Man, the fans have really been invested from start to finish in a show. Yeah. And they've been, which helps the the wrestlers, but I think we put on, I mean, not to be self-centered to your point, but I think we put on really good shows.
Right, the facts are facts.
Yeah, we've had a high level of performers come in. And we've had, to start off on your first show and have a former world champion like Tim Storm and some other guys from the National Wrestling Alliance like Tom Latimer and Rodney Mack and, some good young guys like a Soda Pop Hendricks, which is, beginning to really kind of find his stride, and BC Lee, a local guy who is really getting better each and every match. We've put on good shows, and fans have reacted to it, and that's we're going to continue to do that. That's our goal. So I think first and foremost to our fans would be to say thank you, and to stay with us. We're again 2023. We're going to have we're going to be doing more. Things are announcements to come. So stay tuned.
That's right.
So stay tuned to all of our social media and everything.
And what is that social media again?
Yeah, so the website is ozarkmountainwrestling.com. And on Facebook and Instagram, it's Ozark Mountain Wrestling. And then Twitter is at OMW Info. Yep. So there's that. I would like to say again, fans... keep coming out, keep having a blast, keep enjoying the shows. We really do appreciate that. I did want to say quickly too, a big thanks to our sponsors. We've been really fortunate.
Let's get it out there.
Really fortunate, really since just about day one to have companies that have supported what we're doing and what we're wanting to do, and so She Can Do It Cleaning Solutions, awesome. Parkside Public in downtown Rogers. Literally the best burgers in Northwest Arkansas, maybe the world. Yeah. But Parkside Public has been a huge help.
I'll be eating there.
Typically the debris fries is my favorite. Cannot go wrong there. But fans are able to pick up tickets there if they want to buy in person. Of course, we always have it to where folks can buy them online as well. But they can pick them up in person at Parkside. Ozark Beer Company, again. We're only dealing with the best local brewery around. You can get that anywhere. Black Hawk Heating and Air Conditioning out of Pea Ridge. NWA Roofing out of Rogers. Ace Superior Inspection in Rogers. And then the Woodridge Retail Group. So, go out and support those folks who help support Ozark Mountain Wrestling.
Awesome. Absolutely, yeah. They are very, very good people around here that, it's... Sometimes, you doing something for the community
responds.
Yeah, responds. Yep. And we've had help along the way, and it's very appreciated.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Definitely.
All right, y'all. Well, it has been great talking to you guys.
Woo!
I do have one other thing for you guys.
Yeah.
R&L Designs, which is my sponsor. made these, and I want to give these to you. Y'all are my first in-person.
I've been looking at those.
So I am giving you guys a coffee mug. With
I was going to say, don't tell them.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Because they would be, what did they get? What did they get? Now you see, that's what I meant by, learning how to work.
I remember being here. I'm really appreciative of y'all coming and talking with me tonight.
Is this you?
That is me.
Okay.
So what that is my logo is actually a cartoon picture of me. Mm-hmm. What I did is my son got a new phone, so I sent him this goofy picture of me. And then I was like playing around, and there was an app that's like, where you make cartoons of you. And this was right when I was just deciding to do the show.
Yep.
And I was like, I wonder what I look like as a cartoon. So I did that, and I was like, hey, I love that. That's going to be my logo.
There you go.
So, and then I shrunk it down to that. It's been different things. I've had it to where people see one half of my face. I've had my whole face. Actually, my first episode, if you look at the logo on like Spotify, it's my whole face. It's just cartoon whole face. And so, but I've changed it up a little bit, and that's what it is now.
No, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, thanks for having us, too.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We enjoyed it.
I enjoyed having y'all. So y'all have a good night, okay?
Thanks. Yes, sir.
All right.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Dawn.
And if you've ever watched a TV show and thought to yourself, oh my god, that season finale plot twist was absolutely bonkers.
Or seen a movie and thought, wow, I need to talk to somebody about this train wreck immediately.
Then we think you'll fit right in with our podcast, I Hate It, Let's Watch It. We watch TV shows like Riverdale and Emily in Paris.
And movies like Deep Water, Killer Sofa, Rubber, and Deadly Illusions. And we give them the total rinsing they deserve.
It's basically group therapy for movie masochists. So come check us out wherever you stream podcasts.
Hello, friends. We'll get you back to your regularly scheduled podcast in just a minute. But first, Ocho here. I am the host of the Drunk Discussions podcast, a podcast that started back in 2017 and has been on hiatus for about 2.5-3 years ever since my co-host left me to go back home to Saskatchewan. But in 2022, I brought the podcast back. And although the show is still trying to refine and reestablish itself and the direction in which it's going, I would greatly appreciate it if you joined me on the journey. Sometimes I do the show solo. More often than not, I have a friend or two that stops by to join me on each episode. So if you're a fan of podcasts and you're a fan of shenanigans, especially drunk shenanigans, check out the Drunk Discussions podcast, available on most major podcasting platforms, including Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and the main source of uploading is Podbean, drunkdiscussions.podbean.com, and you can give the show a follow at DrunkD Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, or Facebook.com/drunkdiscussions. Now back to your regularly scheduled podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is the Showcase, Alex Royal, brand new host of When This Microphone Hits My Mouth. You get the idea. We're going to be bringing you guys new episodes every single week, keeping the same popular style format that we had on What Can You Offer, my other podcast with John Cross. Be sure to check that one out, because every once in a while you might see another special episode, and you never know, John might cameo on this one every once in a while. But we're going to bring you unique perspectives on all things Oklahoma wrestling, pop culture, entertainment, podcasts, and really, honestly, just anything that pops up. We're just going to have a free-for-all, have conversations, have guests, and have a grand old time. So be sure to check us out every single week. The goal is to have a new episode drop every single Friday, so you, yourself, your friends, and everybody else listening to this right here can check us out. Be sure to check back.
All right, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed that final part to the Ivan Warsaw and Michael St. James episode. I had a lot of fun talking with them, and I look forward to maybe doing that again at some point in the future. They've got some cool shows that are coming up, and be on the lookout for them. I think that they're going to have some really good stuff coming up in the near future, and I'm really excited because they're pretty much right in my backyard, and I can go see their shows anytime I want to, and I will definitely be going to them. So, as I told you on Monday, I have some cool episodes that are coming up. The episode that I was supposed to have this week was the Reverse, the RVRS band. At this time, they are not really recording music from what I'm hearing. I spoke to somebody who is a friend of theirs, and they told me that the lead singer is no longer with them, so they're not making music at this time. I hope that everything gets worked out in the future to where they can come back on the show and talk with me, because I really enjoy the music that they have produced. I wish them all the best, and I hope that, like I said, I hope that they get everything worked out, or I hope that they can find a new lead singer or something to keep this music going, because they are amazing. Other episodes that I have coming up, like I told you, I have Alex Royal that is going to be coming on the show. I also have Tommy Dean, who is going to be coming on here as well. And I'm also going to be having on Big Man Thrash, and I am excited about all 3 of these episodes. All 3 of them sound excited about coming on the show to talk with me, and I can't wait for you to hear those episodes as well. If you guys want to follow me online, you can do so by going to Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or Hive or Snapchat or TikTok. I am pretty much everywhere, and if you look up If You Give a Dad a Podcast, you can find me on any of them. My username on Facebook is at IYGADAP. It is the acronym for If You Give a Dad a Podcast, or as I like to say, IGADAP. You can also find me on TikTok and Snapchat with that same username at IYGADAP. You can also find me on Hive and Twitter, and those are both at DadPodcast11. And then you can also find me on Instagram, and that's at Give a Dad a Podcast. I update all of them regularly. Sometimes I give special questions and things like that on Twitter or on Facebook or on Instagram, different places. So make sure that you follow me on all of the different social media sites, because I do sometimes post different things on each one to get different responses, because I do have different people that follow me on each, and I try to make sure that I'm getting a variety of answers from what I'm talking about. So if you guys want to follow me on all those to keep up with what I'm doing, I would love to have you. You can also send me an email, and that's on Gmail at giveadadapodcast@gmail.com. If you have any questions or concerns, or you just want to tell me, hey, I think your show sucks, or I think you have a good show and I like what you're doing, send me an email. Let me know. I love to hear from you guys. I love to interact with you guys. I do have merch out. I have new merch that will be coming out soon. I have 2 t-shirts that are out right now, and hopefully I'll be able to get out some coffee mugs and things like that in the near future. Maybe some tumblers or something. I don't know. But I do have ideas for merch. And if you guys have ideas for merch that you would like to send my way, I would love to see the ideas that you guys come up with as well. Send me an email or something if you do have an idea for new merch. Also, go on there and buy the ones that I do have. I have 2 t-shirts that are out right now through Shirtcasters. I have them linked on my show notes, and then I also have the links up on my different social media pages. Go and look those up, and if you want to, go ahead and buy one of the shirts to support the podcast. I am looking to do new things in the future. I am starting to look into maybe doing video as well. If that is something you guys would like, then I would love to start doing that as well. I do have a YouTube page. It doesn't really have that much up on it right now, but I do plan on using it more in the future. Right now, it's just a bunch of the episodes, just audio. But I do want to do more things with that, kind of like I want to do more things with TikTok as well. I'm starting to buy the equipment that I need to do those things, but it does cost money. So if you guys want to go out, buy some merch, that way you get something cool and say this is the podcast that I listen to, and in return it helps me to get the stuff that I need to make sure that I am supplying you guys with the top quality that you guys deserve to hear. So as you're listening to this episode, I want you to go out and I want you to rate and review this. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you like this episode. Tell me if you don't. You can rate it and review it on any of the platforms that you're listening on, and I will see that response, and I do look forward to seeing what you guys think. So I am going to bring this show to a close. I am excited about what the future holds for this show. I have some more things that are coming up that I'm excited for me to be able to tell you guys. I'm not going to talk about it right now because I want to make sure that all the nails are all the way in before I say anything about it. So just be on the lookout for new cool things that are going to be happening here in the show. Shout out to my sponsor, R&L Designs. Go and look them up. They have great deals. Use them for all of your custom needs. They can make just about anything. I know that I've been like, hey, I want this shirt done, or hey, I want this coffee mug done, and they can get it done pretty quickly. As you heard at the end of the episode, they made 2 coffee mugs for my guests that I had. And maybe here soon I can get those out to where you guys can buy those as well. It's another way to get some merch here. I love you guys. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye. If you enjoyed our show, come back next week. Come on, guys. You know you want to come back. Might get some laughs.
This podcast is part of the OIW Podcasting Network.